episode 26 of the Long Distance Stitchers. My name is Megan.
I am also Megan.
And this is our channel about cross stitch. Sometimes knitting. Is there any knitting? You're the one.
I didn't pull it out. I have been knitting on and off, but it's not like significant progress. So maybe next month after I've been on an airplane.
So mostly cross stitch today. All cross stitch today. Also some haul. Some of us went to a retreat. Some of us sadly could not come. But you have some stuff coming from the retreat. People literally on the last day kept like handing me stuff and being like, you could give it to Megan. Because there was like extras for some of the things. And I was like, okay. So it's like you were there.
Right?
Yeah. You were there in spirit. We're gonna start with our tarot cards.
So I pulled, and I'm using my Lord of the Rings, I guess Middle Earth Major Arcana by Brooklyn Draws. She goes by Brooklyn Draws on Instagram. She is working through quite rapidly, I think, the minor arcana. So just FYI. So I drew the Magician. And so the Magician is all about working towards a goal, right? Sustained progress, getting to the end. So, I mean, I've got lots of goals, some of them more achievable than others. For example, I cannot win the lottery because I don't buy lottery tickets, but it's still a goal, right? But, you never know. I think it's just reflective of there is a lot of upheaval at work right now. And so trying to stay the course. Magician.
I love that. I'm pulling from my Connolly tarot deck, which I haven't used in a while, but I was like, I did buy all these other decks. I should probably use some of them. And this one is by Eileen Connolly. And it's like sort of a traditional like stained glass looking.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And I also pulled the Magician, but mine was reversed. And so reversed means it might be time for you to implement some changes. The reverse magician is a master of illusion, and the magic that he performs is one of deception and trickery. You may be lured in by the showmanship of his arts, but behind that, there may be an intention to manipulate for selfish gain. So, like, I'm very much being called out right now. I don't think I'm manipulating people for selfish gain, but
I mean, you did get all those presents for me.
That's true. And then for reversed meaning, so there's wasted talent, unwillingness to take chances, missed financial opportunity, not using skills for financial gain.
I mean, I read for you better in that it just, you're working towards what you want to manifest. You just haven't taken the step yet. That feels much more positive than whatever you're looking.
This feels very negative. Or it's like it's like a warning. It's like watch out because you're gonna fall into these pitfalls of like not like of like just trying to get what you want and not really caring what happens to the people around you. I don't feel like I do that, but maybe it's a warning to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So
okay, so if you watched our not even feature length, our double feature length, mega epic whip and finish parade with our friend Amy, you will have noticed that and you may have entered to win a chart from our friend Christy at Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch. She generously offered to share one of her PDF charts for a giveaway. And so we did all of the housekeeping stuff before we started filming. And our friend Mandy, who is stitching B82 on Instagram, is the winner. And Mandy said that she wants to stitch the winter cat.
Oh, that's such a cute one.
Is the one. So Christy's got a whole series of these cats. And I believe you can buy a bundle. I think that's what I've been seeing on her.
I'm pretty sure there's a bundle. I
Yeah,
would, yeah.
right. So if you want to stitch several of the cats, you should go check it out. So Mandy will be in touch with you and with Christy, and we'll get that organized. I would bet good money when Mandy stitches this chart that that cat is going to be changed into stitches. I would bet good money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, congratulations, Mandy.
Yay! That's a really cute one. I'm glad she picked that one.
Mhm.
Okay, that was a giveaway
Yeah.
from last episode. Which again, if you haven't seen it, get into it. I've been told that it's the best whip parade that's ever existed. So I mean,
Yeah, I think that it's very valid. And like the amount of work that people have been getting done. So I have neglected answering comments. So by the time you watch this, maybe I will have answered comments. But when we were looking through for the giveaway, Rachel Ray finished a diamond painting, a knitting project, and got a whole bunch of stitches in on her Stitch for Pride while she watched us. Right?
I feel like I was a part of that.
Right? Right? We supported her along the way.
Exactly. And a lot of people that I talked to at the retreat were they were like telling me how great that video was, but then also they were like, Amy was so good. And I was like, wasn't she just
Girl.
like a natural? Like for her to be like, this is my first like Flosstube episode. I've never done this before. It's like, okay, like seriously, flex on all of us. She was so good. So hopefully we will have her back because
Well, we will.
the
Already
people
have
love
a
her.
plan. We're gonna do our mid-year check-in, right?
Mid-year whip parade. It's happening.
It's gonna be great.
All right. Well, did you finish anything?
I finished, so I had a secret stitching project that I finished, and it has left the building, if not necessarily Canada yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I only mailed it yesterday. I should make one of Canada Post. Give them a couple days at least to try. Um, so that, and then I'm also participating in Heather Link is my homeboy. She has a new account that's Stitchy Swaps and ATCs or something like that. Maybe it'll get linked down below. I'm looking at Megan because I'm bailing on her, so it's all on
We'll
her
make
this
a
time.
note.
Yeah, so Heather has an account just for the swaps. She wanted to separate them, which I totally understand. It's a lot, and that allows you to compartmentalize the work. But so I'm participating in both. I have not started my stitching for the other one, so that will be my plans because we have a deadline. But I did finish my trading card. And so this is the theme of the ATC swap is the year you were born. So I have reproduced, and I think pretty well. I should have pulled up a picture. I didn't. The Pioneer 10 plaque. I mean, it went on other Pioneer vessels. Because the year that I was born is the year that the Pioneer left the orbit of Pluto and thus, exited our solar system. And so this plaque is meant for the aliens to be able to figure out where the little ship came from and come see Earth. But it was originally designed by Carl Sagan, who, if you haven't read Carl Sagan, I highly recommend if you are into space and things like that. But yeah, I really had fun with this, and to the point that now I need to make one for myself.
That's always the problem with swaps, is you're like, oh, I'm
I'm
doing
gonna take
this
a
for
really good picture of it and put it in my stitchy journal, and then
that's a
I
good
should,
idea.
right? Like
Yeah.
I don't need to remake it. I finished it and I was like, well, why am I giving this away?
I started mine. I'll show it in my starts because it's not finished yet.
I hear that you had some finishes, Megan.
I did. So my first finish of the year was my Tatri Square, which has already been sent to the Threads of Diaspora project in Edmonton. So this was the one that I did. I did it with a spool of Pearl Cotton 8. This like spool of silk that I got from Michelle Bendy. And this green is anchor thread that I use 3 strands of because it's like DMC basically.
Mhm.
And I really like it. I think it's really nice. Oh,
Yeah,
goodbye.
I need to. I want to do what Amy did and make little versions of them to just put again in my journal, and then
Yeah. Since it's just like the same thing repeating, I might do just like one.
Yeah, you could do just 1/4 of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are working on the 5th phase of their project. Their designer is hard at work. They still have a call out for anybody who is a designer and wants to contribute designs for
Well, I'm
the
gonna link
next.
that too.
The way it works is everybody stitches these little pieces and then they make one big quilt out of them. And um, so you can design something small and somebody will stitch it and add it to the quilt. Um, it sounds like too though that they're going to make some that are a little bit bigger
Mhm.
in this next phase, which will be interesting too because it widens up what they can do, right? If you expand from the 45 by 45
Yeah. Yeah,
square.
exactly.
Yeah,
Although that was a perfect size for what I was.
it is nice like in terms of doing
Yeah.
something and doing it in the timeline. I would hope that they give you more time if it's a bigger piece, but
Yeah, mine was a little late getting sent in, but it was also like I got it right before Christmas and I sent it right after New Year's. So it
yeah.
wasn't like that long, but I still felt a little bit like, oh, I was supposed to get this sooner. Anyway. My second finish was one of the freebies that I got on the Flosstube at Sea retreat, and it is the Quirky Quaker Stingray. So
Look
there's
at
this.
how beautiful. Deanna, this killed me when Megan showed me the picture. It killed me. It's so good.
It's so good. And then there was like underneath the pattern, it just said Flosstube at Sea 2024. So I kind of stitched that over here, but I just did Flosstube at Sea and I did the letters at sea in like a sparkly
Mm.
gloss. The sparkly is a Cosmo metallic that everyone came up to me and was like, "What is that sparkly thread you're stitching with? And is it terrible?" And I was like, "No, it's actually really great." And we had to like look up what it was called at the yeah, that's the one. And we had to look up what it was called on the website because I couldn't remember like the name of it. And then yeah. And then also I didn't realize that it comes in different sizes. So this one is basically like an 11, so like a sulky almost. So I did 2 strands and this is on 14. But then some of them, like I have a purple one that's thicker and it's almost like a 5. So I only used 1 strand.
Like it's thinner.
Yeah. The if it's like the number of the thread is what you can like see like because like the ones that are like 1 digit number is bigger and then like this is like 109 or something and it was thinner. So anyway.
Yeah, this is 109.
Oh, that's the same as this one. I didn't realize I got you the same one. Haha, that's so funny. But
Yeah,
yeah, this is my stingray.
pretty though.
It's
This was
really
in
pretty.
my advent calendar that my friend Megan made me.
And that's perfect because I'm gonna stitch kit past this to you.
Yeah, I can use that on my ray.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm gonna journal this, which is why I did the letters separately, so I could do like the stingray up here and like the letters down here or whatever. Yeah, that was my first finish.
And that's a Kaylee fabric, right? The
This
pre-
is not.
oh,
This is Meyer by Picture This Plus.
okay.
And I was gonna send you a little chunk of it if you want to use it for your
Yeah,
stingray.
that's what we match. Yeah.
Yeah. And Michelle G was the one who pointed out that if I did it over this like lighter area, it was like sand and water and how it just sort of like and I was like, you're so right. Because we got the chart and we got the floss. So the floss is a Brennan Needle duo and it's Wreck House and Old Hag, which I
Which
think I have. I don't
I'm
know.
sure.
Yeah,
I
I know I have Wreck House. I'm pretty sure I have Old Hag.
know.
But then I was like, oh, but we didn't get fabric with it. So, but luckily I had just gone shopping at the cross stitch cupboard in Fort Lauderdale, and so I looked through my bag to see what I had to, and I had just randomly grabbed this little 14 count Meyer, and I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
So perfect. And then the other project that I brought specifically with me to work on, which is part of my WhipGo, my Quirky Quaker WhipGo for 2024. And the prompt was a paper chart. And I had this Puffin in a paper chart. So I brought him to work on. And I did this outside is like a variegated Cosmo, and this is that same blue 109. And this is the purple that I was talking about that was actually thicker than I thought. So that's just one strand of that. And then I tried to do the Puffin black and orange colors that they are. And then he also has a little cape made of the non-binary flag colors because they, they are a non-binary Puffin. Yeah.
I love them.
I love them too. And the rock is the old hag from the other Brenda Needle because I was like, I don't like any of these other colors for like a rock that they're turning on. Yeah. Here we go. Those are my two finishes on the ship.
How many starts do you have?
5.
Do you want to just roll over into yours and then I can do mine and et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah.
Sure.
I can start by showing my ATC card, which is going to be Marty and the Doc from Back to the Future, because Back to the Future came out in 1985, which is the year I was born, and it's also very much set in 1985. They say that number a lot. I cannot think of any movie that is more 1985.
Really wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So that's a pattern from Good Morning Maui, I believe is the name. I found it on Etsy. I just Googled I Googled Back to the Future patterns, and it's just gonna be the two of them. But there's like on the pattern, there's like a quote, and it's like, where we're going, we don't need roads, but I'm not gonna have room for all that. So I think I'm just gonna do Great Scott across the top or something like that.
You could also stitch a quote and put it on the back of the card.
Oh, that's an idea. Could do that. Especially if I'm just gonna do like a little back stitch something. Yeah. See, Megan always with the smart ideas. And my second start, which was also on the ship, was my ink circles for my second most magnificent ink circles round robin. I'm doing Elegant Squid.
I love that pattern so much.
It's really good and it's been really fun.
I need to manifest that lottery that I can't win if I don't buy tickets so that I can cross stitch all day. Oh.
So I'm doing this on 16 count. I'm in team 16 count. And this is from Kaylee at the sewing shop. This is called Neptune's Depth. And this purple is this Cosmo 5026. And it's slightly variegated, but not crazy variegated. So I've just been stitching straight across as if it's one color. Because
it's looking really nice.
He's like a little stripy, but not too stripy.
It's perfect.
And then for the other bits, so originally my plan was that every quadrant was going to have a different color for like the kind of seaweedy bits. But then Kim pointed out that since they do meet up, it would be kind of like tricky because there would be like a hard line, which would also be fine, but there is these little bits that are not connected to anything. So I think what I'm going to do is let each person pick their color for that little bit, because I bought a bunch of other like kind of pastel Cosmo. And then for all the other bits, I got this Threadworks from Michelle out of her Stitch It For Me project. And I was like, oh, that's
gonna look really nice on that fabric. Yeah.
Right. And like all the other colors that I picked to go with it are like pastel green, pastel blue, pink, whatever. And there's like little bits of all those colors in there. So yeah. And this is Threadwork, so this is 20 yards. So
yeah, there's more than enough.
Plenty. So that's a new plan. And I worked on that for like 5 hours on the ship. I got a good chunk done of my squid.
It's amazing how fast you can stitch in a circles chart if you're only stitching a quarter at a time.
It's the no color switching that helps, right? Yes. I'm just like strand after strand after strand.
Even when I did Michelle uh Mimu's Mama's After the Roses that has a ridiculous number of colors in it.
Mm-hmm.
Still was only like 3 days of stitching to do that because it was just the quarter, right? There was a lot of color switching. I was lucky I had two, I was the last person, so I had two corners to count off of. So I color completed because I didn't have to count very far for the most part for anything. And I was strategic, right? Like I put in sort
Yeah.
of the most, so I had things to count off of. But yeah, it didn't, even with all the color switching, it really didn't take very long. So
Yeah.
that's what I tell
It
myself
is.
about
It's
my
really easy to, and also because like this is a paper chart and I'm obviously not going to highlight anything, but I was just like using my scissors to like indicate like which row I was on and I was just like counting off that and it was actually really easy to keep my place. So, yeah. My next new start, this was my New Year new start. No Time Like the Present from Jacob DeGraff from Modern Folk Embroidery. I will never forget his name again as long as I live.
what happened.
We were playing a game during the retreat where it was like name the pattern, the designer, and the design company. And for the life of me, I was like, what is Jacob's last name? I could not remember. I was so
I
mad at myself.
feel like Jacob has reached
Just Jacob
what
from Modern Folk Embroidery. That is his
right?
name.
It's just Jacob. Does he need a last name?
No, he's like Cher. There are
Yeah.
no other Jacobs. But anyway, so this is that pattern, and a lot of people are only stitching sections of it. I'm crazy, so I'm doing all of it.
I'm also
So
going to do
started,
all of it, although I have a bit of regrets about, oh, maybe I could have made it smaller for myself. It's
I
fine.
could
I
have
love the whole thing. I couldn't have picked.
I could have just done the clock.
Yeah.
I really like the clock,
Yeah.
so but whatever, it's fine. I will also enjoy stitching all of it, I'm sure. So this is where I'm at. This is like a few hours I worked on it. I'm doing mine in two different sulky colors. So there's like a blue, and this is that dark chestnut. This is I think like navy blue and dark chestnut.
Nice.
Beautiful. They're coming so nice. This is an 18 count silvery moon by Zweigart. So it's like pretty much a white. It doesn't have a lot of color differences. I think it's just pretty solid. But
Yeah, it's a solid color, but it's I find it's at least on linen a little like it's got like a blue tinge to it.
yeah, that's what and it's like I think it's making it like just it's like a cool tone rather than like a warm tone and it looks really good with the colors. That was start number 3. Yes. And then next I have this is the January Stitch for Pride from D's 20 Stitches. So this each month is based on a different artist. So this one is based on Keith Haring. And there is an exhibition at the AGO right now about Keith Haring. And it's
Nice.
until March. So I will have to go see that.
You have to
Um,
finish the piece and go take photos of it in the wild.
yes, that's totally what I'm gonna do. So I'm doing mine on this is watercolor Watercolor Falls, I think she called it, by Kaylee.
Tag right
Oh,
there.
there's a tag right there. Yeah, Watercolor Falls, by Kaylee at the Sewing Shop, and it's beautiful.
So
And I
pretty.
started in the corner for because that was Dee's suggestion, and also because this orange part and a lot of Keith's work had like a bright orange background. Like when I was watching the documentary, I was like, oh, everything's so orange. So that's the section that I chose to start in. And I don't have the flosses yet.
They
Um,
are in the mail.
they are
They
coming,
have also
but this is Roxy Floss Cosmos, which is pretty dang close to the
yeah,
January
it
floss.
is a really good.
It's
Sorry, it's a
I
really sub.
like as soon as I saw the release, I was like, I have that color. That is Cosmos. I've used it in many projects. I have two skeins of it because I like it so much. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that one.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And I'm gonna keep this on this Nurge because I think I'm just gonna keep working on it and the next one will be out soon. So, and then my
And
last new start was Mouse's Beach House, Mouse's Beach Outing. We kept calling it Mouse's Beach House. It's not. It's Mouse's Beach
I,
Outing.
you can
Um,
rename.
there is a house. Kim and I started this as our like roommate stitch when we were on the cruise. She finished it, of course. She
Of
started
course
it
she did.
after me and she finished it before me, but she also only worked on that and I worked on like a couple other things and I finished two other things. So
Mhm.
Saft two other things. Both those quirky breakers.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm doing all right. I started it on the plane on the way to Fort Lauderdale and I worked on it a little bit at the retreat and I worked it on the way home.
Did
Um,
Kim switch up her colors too?
hmm?
Or did Kim also switch up her colors?
She kitted it up at the cross stitch cupboard in like completely different whatever. And then she was like borrowing floss from people because she was like, I just need like one little like I need 2 stitches worth of black. And so somebody would be like, okay, and they were like literally had black on their needle and like gave it to her and then she stitched and then gave it back. I was like, I mean, whatever works. I'm doing mine in this pack of Rico threads that I got when I was in Germany because I really wanted to do something with all of these, and there's 8, and there's 8
Mhm.
colors in this, so it's perfect. It's just like I'm kind of just mixing and matching and deciding which ones I want to do.
Love it.
Yeah. And so my crab is blue instead of being red because
There's lots of blue crabs in the world. That is not an unnatural crab color.
not at all. All right, and those are all my starts.
Awesome. I started 5 things as well, I think. 4 things. 4 things. Well, the ATC was a start and finish, and my secret stitching was a start and finish. So I guess I started 6 things. But I have 4 to show you. First of all, and I have no idea where my board is. I've been moving things around in here, pretending like I'm gonna clean up, but really I've just been moving things around, but we'll make do. So this is my No Time Like the Present. So I finished my January drop. So this took longer than I expected it to. I'm hopeful that February will be quicker because I have all this stuff to count down from. We'll see. I might have to adjust my stitching plans over the year if every drop's going to take me essentially a week worth of stitching. But also the start of January and honestly the whole month has been a write-off for
Yeah.
all sorts of reasons I cannot talk about on my Flosstube channel. But I am using 2 colors of floss from a company that no longer exists. Now I can't think of the name of it because it's not in front of me, Sure, or something like that. They came from my grandmother's stash. There was more than enough of them for this project. And I'm stitching it on a 20 count sandstone from Color and Cotton. So I had this in my stash as well and it looked nice with the colors. So that's what I am doing. So there is my No Time Like the Present. And so I'm ready for the next drop to come. I guess it's not really a drop. I mean, I could start
Yeah,
February
it's already
anytime,
on the thing.
but I'm going to stitch the months in the months with there's also a built-in buffer because we only have 10 months of stitching because Jacob wants to give us time to work on his other projects.
I have already taken one of my buffer months because I
Yeah.
will be almost entirely behind a month by the time February starts, but that's okay.
So that was one of my 2 New Year new starts. The other one that I started on New Year's Day is my chart for the second most magnificent Ink Circles round robin, which this year is being hosted by Julia at Julicious on Instagram. They also want us to use, oh, what is it? Like Middle Earth round robin or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So
The
there's a
yeah,
there's
we're
but people are using both.
yeah, we're the Shire, like we're the
Well,
host.
I'm on Team Rohan,
Yeah.
but Julia in one of the
Yeah.
had this other hashtag as well. So I haven't posted, I don't think since I first started. So I'll figure it out when it comes time to post. And so I chose this time Reflections of Ireland. My grandfather was born in Ireland. I have never been. Megan is going. I'm super jealous.
I'm going in March.
Yeah, yeah. No, in practically no time at all. It will be here. But so I am doing this on a 36 count Fortnite fabric. Doesn't matter what the name is because you can't get it. I have nothing to put behind it, so I apologize if it doesn't. Oh no, it's showing up pretty well. And then the floss that I have is a hand dye by Rolanda. I bought a whole pink, of phthalo green, which it really does look like phthalo, which it's a mineral if you're not a rock person. Um, trying
It
to get the
looks
light.
really good on there.
Yeah, so this was just, I just stitched on it for a couple hours. So it will, again, it'll come together pretty quickly, I think.
Mhm.
And I will just keep working on it. These don't have to be sent till the end of March. So it might sit for a little bit before I finish it, but I wanted to make sure that I had it started. Partly because I didn't start mine until so late last year that I was like,
Yeah.
but that was because I was waiting on, I forget what I was waiting on. I was waiting on something. I also started, so I am with my team 14 count folks from last year's Ink Circles round robin. We decided, so there was some chitter chatter on Michelle's Flosstube live or Twitch at some point about potentially doing round robins with Carolyn Manning's, and went ahead with the second most magnificent Ink Circles round robin. So not Carolyn Manning, but my little group, we really like the idea of it. So we have all picked a Carolyn Manning and we're doing a round robin together again this year. I did not get the cover photo ready for this, so you'll have to, use Google. But if you're familiar with Carolyn Manning, you can probably fill in the blanks yourself. But so I am for this, I'm using the same Stony Creek fabric that my Ink Circles from last year was on. I had a big enough piece.
Oh, right.
So then I like the, like it's matchy but not thing with my group. Plus it's so nice to stitch on.
Mhm.
Um, and so this is from Carolyn Manning's pattern Pumpkin Patch. And
Oh, that's so
that's one
perfect on
with
the line.
four, it's got four different configurations. If you
Yeah.
know the patterns, she's got a pattern and then she changes where the colors are. And so even though technically the pattern is the same, by changing the colors, it changes the way that they look, right? And so I picked this. It's one of the four patterns. It's all in DMC. I have 4 or 5 colors there. You can see some of those stitches aren't finished. I basically didn't want to do all my DMC onto floss drops all at once. So I'm doing it a color at a time. And then I'm stitching one length of thread and then moving on to the next color. And so I will keep doing that until they are all started. But like this is the extent of the border, right? Like my little quarter of this fits
Oh,
in this
yeah.
6x6 snap. So very small. A couple of the other women in my group have bigger patterns that they have chosen, which is totally fine. Like we talked about stitch count numbers and things like that. I went with what spoke to my heart rather than based on size, and I think they all did too. But I'm really excited to stitch some more of her patterns because I've never been like, I'm not a full coverage person. If you've been here a while, you've probably heard me say that. But I've heard people say that it's very like meditative because of how it's organized and you can pull your colors across and things like that. And I would say even with this small start, I can see why people feel that way. I did when I bought this buy a bigger pattern called Persephone, and so I feel like I will actually stitch that instead of just thinking about stitching it at some point. And then my last start.
There it is.
Oh, there. Um,
So you're doing this corner?
no, is there another one? Maybe I've got the wrong name in my head.
Oh, is it this one? Pumpkin and patch?
Yes.
Oh,
So I
okay.
picked the one that is the bottom right on my
Okay.
screen. I don't know. I feel like that's right.
Yeah.
Your words are going the right way, but the bottom right. Yeah.
Oh, it's the pumpkin patch. Oh, that's pumpkin patches. Okay, there's multiple pumpkin patches.
The names on her charts, there's so many things that are very similar.
Well, then I'm glad we cleared that up because somebody would have been like, which one?
Yeah. I've been like, that doesn't look anything at all like what you're stitching. Okay. And then my next start is with the last drop for the Natural World Stitch Along from Christy at Pixel Cross Stitch. Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch. Was a little freebie of this owl, which is so stinking cute. So I knew when I saw it that I would need to stitch it. I didn't necessarily plan to start it right away, but Christy is also doing a hashtag superb owl stitch along on Instagram right now. And it's like pick an owl pattern and stitch it to have it done by that sports ball day. I don't know.
Fourth or whatever.
So I have been stitching it. So I'm using like the leftover 56 count.
Oh,
This
perfect.
great. So it's a bit angled weird. I will iron it straight when I'm done. And I am using the border is done in a mug up to remember from Bryn and Needle.
Oh, perfect. I love
It
that.
came out really nice with all the variegation in there. And then the owl is a hand dye by Rolanda, like a gray variegated. I asked Daniel if he thought I should do it in black or in like a gray or a brown, and he said gray. So that's what I'm doing.
Excellent choice,
I
Daniel.
made this needle binder myself. I'm very impressed with myself.
It's cute.
More hijinks will pursue. I will not talk about them though because they are top secret hijinks. But I love it. And like, look how tiny that is.
That's tiny. That's perfect for that little.
I might make it into like a tiny little pillow. I can see why the tiny stitching is so addictive when you start doing things that are small and then they come out even smaller. So we shall see. So those were all of my starts. That's
excellent.
So much for focusing on my projects that I didn't touch in 2023. What?
I know. Like I worked on 3 whips and I started 5 things and I already had like 60 whips at the end of
So I started 6 things, 2 are done, right? So that's a good turnaround. And I have 4 whips that I worked on as well. But only one of them is from before 2023. So yeah. Should I dive into my whips?
Yeah.
Or do you want yours? I'll do mine. Okay.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I have another start that isn't written down anywhere, and that's why I forgot. My Stitch for Pride 2024 start.
Wow, you're so much further than me. You started like a week after me.
I worked on it on Friday and a little bit yesterday. Okay. So I got the Determination fabric from Jessie at Mislaid Pages. Also, this is only going to use half of this, and so I will have another half of this beautiful neutral for something. So
nice.
Excellent. And then I have all the floss from Jazz, and it is piled in my purchases pile. So we will look at them when the time comes. But there is my little start. I'm doing it on 20 count Ada because I didn't think about Dee's love of fractional stitches. So I will punish myself when I get to doing those fractional stitches, and I'm going to just use a beading needle and pierce that in. So
mine is on I think 18.
See, 18, like if I went with a smaller count, but because it's 20 count, I can't use my needle, like my needle will savage the
it just splits it right. Yeah.
It'll be too big. So I'll have to use a thinner needle, but you should be fine on a
it was like, so the top of his mouth there was the only part so far with fractional stitches, and it honestly looks pretty good. I was very impressed with myself.
So
yeah. It's not easy, but it's not impossible.
I am going to jump on the red heart bandwagon because I've really been enjoying you know. I'm gonna it won't be red, it's gonna be the pink from the floss pack. I'm gonna put that in there. Right? I'm gonna do that too. From a different month, and I'll just so yeah. I don't know if I will be done before the end of the month because I haven't decided what all is coming on my plane trip with me. This might come, but I might take a couple other things. We will talk about that in plans, but yeah, so I had 7 starts. See, I thought I had more, and then I looked at my book and there wasn't another one written, and you know, it just, there's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
Also, the learning, like Dee is a gem, right? They are an excellent human. They put together. I will say to everybody, so Dee had this up for sale prior to the start of the year, and you can't at this point join in late. I don't know if they will change that, but you sort of had to commit before January in order to do it. And so sorry if you missed out.
Sorry, not sorry. They've been
Yeah.
talking about it since like last summer.
Yeah, they've been talking about it. As soon as they started posting about it, everybody was resharing it. So I feel like the news was out
Yeah,
there.
you had
So
chance. I will say I couldn't get the one video to play because it was not available in my country on YouTube, which was kind of disappointing. The CBC one, I don't know why. It was really
it's the learning. Yeah.
yeah. But I also just like I had opened the Keith Haring documentary on YouTube, and then there was a bunch of
Yeah, there's a bunch
other
more.
like
Were
documentaries
you
about.
watching it here or in the
No,
US?
I was here. I was linking from the
Here,
document that they
I
sent.
don't have any
And it
problems.
worked for you? Okay, I don't know. That's very weird. Anyway, so I watched a bunch of other ones that were also on YouTube about Keith Haring, and I went down like a wormhole, and there was like so many other really cool perspectives on his work and stuff. So I was like,
Yeah, there's lots.
yeah.
There's lots of
And I read the whole, there was like that long like Rolling Stones article, which was really, really good too. So yeah, there was lots. That's so weird now. I thought it was like a Canada thing, which was also weird because I was like, D's in Canada. So I don't know. It was really weird. It was telling me that it wasn't available.
So my grandfather, the one from Ireland, so you know, not even born in this here country, so-called country. Um, he always said that um, Canada is only west of the Rockies. Doesn't know
I
what
mean,
the rest of
yeah.
that is. That's not.
I mean,
So
I got charged for US roaming when I was in Niagara Falls, so I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all made up anyway.
Like going to the south end of Vancouver Island. As soon as you're below that 49th parallel, but you live below the 49th, so I don't know.
Yeah, I do, literally. So maybe. Anyway,
Okay,
whips.
I didn't pull up a cover photo of this, but I mean, I'm pretty much the cover photo right now. So this is the Arcana Sal stitch along, which is Uncanny Kari, frequent collaborator of D, but that was a D solo stitch for Pride. This is a Kari solo major Arcana Tarot stitch along. And I, stitched the first three and then didn't touch it, and then did the rest up until this one in like one day, one very long stitchy day. Um, and so I'm now caught up, except that I haven't finished the border, but I will just do it as I'm doing the bottom row of cards. And so I have been stitching this in black DMC. This is 1/1 on a Brennan needle after the rain is the fabric. It's a 28 count. So one strand of black DMC, and then the purple is a hand dyed by Rolanda. There should be enough there to see me through to the end. It'll be fine. And so I've just been putting that pop of purple in. I don't know where my camera is as I go. Just
Oh, I
sort of
can see
pick.
it now. The purple wasn't really coming through before, but now it is. I can see it. Yeah, I like that.
So this is really pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I've been debating getting like a fancy box for my tarot cards and then putting this on something on top of it, maybe. Right? So we'll see what I can find. Um, but I have been enjoying this, once in November and then a couple times now in January. So the newest card just dropped last night. And so I won't be stitching it probably until next weekend, but then I can do two. And then we'll just be on the last row, which
Nice.
I can finish it on time, even though I didn't touch it for months and months and months. I like a stitch along with very small drops. And then I also worked on my Angel of Love. So Angel of Love is a classic lavender and lace. In my opinion, it is the best lavender and lace. The only one that I will ever stitch, probably. Not that there's anything wrong with the others. It's just not super my jam, but my gram stitched this, and let's just say that while possession is 9/10 of the law and it lives at my mother's house, there are other people who want it eventually. So I'm just going to make my own because I'm capable of doing that. So I shouldn't be so flippant about it, but so this, if you're not familiar, like this skirt in this angel is like 80% beads, right? Like there is a lot of beads on this, but she's big. And so I'm stitching her on 28 count. This is just like the store-bought tea-dyed Monaco. And I had most of this wing done. I hadn't finished putting in the second color. And then Helen and I have decided to at least once a month, we're going to work on our angels together. So we had early for me, later for her, Zoom call on a Saturday morning, my time, Saturday afternoon, her time. And so I finished this wing, and then I used that brown to count across, and then I put in all of the like darker color for the second wing. So I have to put in all the white now, but I've got that structure all in place. And so it should go fairly quickly, although I hate white stitching, but once it's done, then I'm right. There'll be some more white in the middle, but that's like the bulk of the white in those wings. And then there's bead stab. I'm gonna do all the beads at the end, but Helen and I had a lovely visit. We made some plans for our adventure post-stitch north, which we should talk about, Megan. And then we'll do it again at some point in February. I need to figure out my life schedule and let her know when I'm available and see what we can make. And then I've also been putting in a lot of time with my From Yelda to Nuru's stitch along because I'm determined to finish this one on time as well. Basically, this is the year of stitch alongs for me. I had some catch up time because Miriam did not release a drop while she was cruising with Megan. And so I got caught up on my bands until just on Friday, another one came out. And then I've been working on the border, which each of those, oh yeah, I had it open and then I forgot. Yes, that's what it looks like. Each of these takes way more than you think that they would. They're you got to make sure that you're counting right. But yeah, I'm taking this with me on my trip because I just need black. I know where to put them, at least down to where I'm at. I can work on the border, and then I'll pick my colors for the new band is chrysanthemums. And so I'm gonna pick a green and then one or more colors for the flowers themselves to put that in there. So this will be my main stitching while I am away this week for work. I have been picking my colors with my heart. And so there's hand dyed by Lavanda for the most part. This red is a sulky because I didn't have something that looked fiery enough in my Rwanda. I also, this is an 18 count. I did the black with 2 strands to get good coverage. And then I was doing 2 strands on other things. And I told myself I don't need to do that. So these 2 are just 1 strand. And like, maybe if you're super up close, you can tell, but they look great, I think. And this band here, so Miriam gave us both a band of goats. So that's the stuff on either side. There's a, so there's the goat. This one in the middle is a 2-headed ram motif. And then this is a protection amulet. And so she gave us a band that was just that across. And then she also gave us a band of roosters with this other motif with them. And I couldn't pick, so I just did some mathing and figured it out and put them both in there, and I reversed the 1 goat there. Yeah. So I mishmashed them up so I didn't have to pick between them.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do for that one, if I'm going to do the roosters or the goats or mishmash. I could take pictures of how I sort of did it and send it to you if you're interested in mishmashing. Then you don't have to do as much math for yourself. I think I still have, I don't think I've put it in the recycling yet. And then the last whip that I've been working on, and it has not gotten as much attention as it needs to if I'm going to be done by March. So many words. Is my Lord of the Rings Namari tapestry from our friend Jacob, one name only, at Modern Folk Embroidery. So this is what the whole thing looks like if you watched, this is what the whole thing looks like if you watched our Epic Whip Parade. You will have seen my work on the top. And then, so now I'm in this section. My hope was to get all of this done in January. You will see that I have not done that, and I won't be able to because I won't be home, and I'm not taking this traveling with me. Look at how huge this is. But so I will focus on that
early February and bring it down. And so that I have the bulk of February and then all of March to put in the bottom, which has as much stitching as the top essentially. And that, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see. I'll either make it or I won't. And it's not a race. It's just for fun. And yeah, I really love it. I'm still very happy with my color choices. And I think I've been debating because I do a pretty good job framing things, but I might pay and get this one professionally framed.
Yeah.
With some mats and things because I don't panic anything. So yeah, I love it.
I feel like it would be worth it because it's
Yeah.
gonna be an odd size, and yeah.
I think it will be a lot of fun. So those are all of my whips. So what else did you work on this month?
Well, my last whip go call from December was to finish and start the next phase of my traveling through Europe trio that I'm doing. So I'm just doing Copenhagen, London, and Vienna. So I was gonna start London there. Yeah. Look at that cute little big fin.
Are you keeping the phone box? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's red.
Yeah.
I probably would have made a TARDIS, but
Oh, well, I don't really watch Doctor Who.
I know you don't. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the little grass, and then so I'm doing them 5 stitches apart. I decided that was enough, and then I'm just gonna do the words underneath, sort of like in a row. So
Rather than do those banners,
like
right?
not centered underneath its thing, but centered together, and then just like with a few stitches between them or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that one. There are a lot of
I love it.
there are a lot of little stitches in these little boxes, but they're fun and they're easy. And I'm especially now like because when I started those, I was like a brand new cross stitcher, so I'm working on them
Your
now.
little
I'm
baby
like,
cross stitcher. Now you're a professional.
yeah, I'm zipping through them so much faster than I was. And then I worked on my From Yalda to Nauru's on the ship as well.
Miriam there.
With Miriam there. She got to see it.
So
Which was
sad.
also, which was really
Didn't work. They tried to call me from the boat and it wouldn't connect.
I know. We tried twice. I couldn't even I tried to call Bill as well and it just like it kept just dropping the call, so I don't know. But it was really fun because people would walk by and they would see this and they would be like, "Oh, that's so nice. What is that?" And I would be like, "Just talk to this lady right here. She designed it." And then also this fabric that people were like losing their minds over. So this is Perfectly Pastel from Kaylee at the sewing shop, and people literally were like coming over to me, be like, "What is that purple fabric?" And I'm like, "Do you want me to write it down for you?" She's in Canada, and so I literally was like writing down the sewing shop for people and telling them where to go get it.
Easy breezy lemon squeezy. So
It's good stuff. I should have brought next time. I will bring business cards for Kaylee.
yeah, Kaylee, you should send us a stack so we can just
literally people were like, "Can you write that down for me?" And then I even like looked to see if this fabric was even still available, and I don't even it might be, but I'm not sure.
I sent in my kitted up swaps to my partners because I'm doing 2 because I'm extra.
Yeah.
But I sent everybody pieces of Kaylee fabric for what I kit up for them. And so I made sure that like I put tags on it, I said what it is, and then I in my cards highlighted it. So you're welcome if you start getting some new customers from the US between the 2 of us.
Exactly. And I'm using this is 3 different Brenda needle colors, which was also cool because Patty was also there. And then people were like, "Oh, what's that floss?" And I was like, "Just talk to that lady over there." So I'm just sort of like stitching with them as if they're one color, and so I'm just using strands wherever I feel like using them. And then for my inside my boxes, I'm going to use Sulky. So this is like a bluish one because this is the winter box. So I've already added in one of the alternate ones. So I'm doing the regular first one and the alternate, and then this next one will be that the fire
where they're dancing around the fire. Yeah.
And then I haven't decided what I'm doing. So I feel like I'll figure it out as I go. But yeah, perfect. These little doohickeys are Like I feel like if I was like not worried about making progress and was just like stitching, I would just like zip through a whole bunch, but
I
um
mean,
yeah.
I was getting when I do it in the morning and I have about an hour while I have my coffee and stitch, I think I'm getting 3 done in an hour.
Yeah.
So,
I could probably do two in about an hour.
I mean, part of it is that,
I'm getting better. I'm figuring out a way to do them where I don't have to move around as much.
yeah,
And I
I'm
can just kind of go like down one side and then
so
back up the other side
yeah, going around in
instead of
hand, and
going across because I was trying to go across the first couple times, then that was just really tricky. But I
just
think it's better to just like go down and then go up.
mhm,
But yeah,
yeah.
and now they're in the right place.
And it needs it. You can't just have the straight black.
No,
It needs those.
it
So,
needs those for sure.
if you love a border, check out Miriam's patterns.
Yeah. And then when I got home, I worked on this is Carolyn's Balloons. This is by Jan Hicks, who I also spent the week with. Um, which was kind of funny because I was like, "Oh, I'm stitching one of your things." Where is it? There it is. So this is Autumn Balloons. Make that bigger. Carolyn's Balloons Autumn by Jan Hicks. And I kitted this up at Stitch North last year. So this is doesn't have a name. I think it's Roxy. I think it was Roxy Floss. This one. So this is 18 count Ada. And then this is Brenda Needle and Sulky and some Roxy Floss as well. This purple is Sulky and it's so nice.
It looks really good. I
Looks
like how
so
much it
good.
pops.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really enjoying the colors on here. So this was one of my calls for January was a Quaker. So I'm doing 10 hours on any Quaker. So this is about 5 hours already that I've done because I was not quite finished this balloon. And then I started and almost finished this one. So
Nice.
and I also bought because she gave us coupons for 30% off in her Etsy store, so I bought the summer one. But I might just like stitch the one big lobster balloon because the way that she charted it, it's like only like half of it because it's like a Quaker, so it's like they get cut off. But I might just like stitch it as a whole thing, as just the thing, and then just have that be the whole thing.
Yep.
Because I don't know if I need to make all the balloons, but the lobster balloon is really good.
To put it on a really big count fabric, like an 11 count or something, and then like make an actual like stuffed balloon.
Oh, that would be cool. That's
Like
such
the
a good
basket, have it.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
Okay,
mean, not to make too much. That would be so much fun, I think.
yeah. That would be really cool. Yeah. I mean, the stitching would be the easy part. The forming it into a balloon, but or forming it into a basket.
I believe in you. You have your sewing machine now. You can do anything.
I could make like a macrame basket and hang it.
You could put like an air plant in
Okay. See now ideas are yeah. And I have these tiny little plant pots that I don't know what to do with. So that might be the perfect
there you
solution.
go. There you go. Done.
There you go. Problem
Oh,
solved. And I could even like because I have a bunch of 11 count white and I could just do it like um dye it like blue or something and make
yeah.
it like a light blue like sky color. Oh, okay. Ideas are forming. Anyway, those are all my whips. Now apparently I
Love
have
it.
some plans.
Mhm. Um,
Great.
shall we show our kitted up swap kits?
Yes.
Okay. So I have two partners. So I have received from one person so far, and it's because she went on a cruise and wanted to make sure it was out the door before she left, so she didn't have to deal with it when she came back, which very smart. And so I have received my full smog. So we had 3 levels. We had a baby dragon level, like a stash hoarder level, and a full smog level, and so different price points with them. So I did a baby hoarder and a full smog because, well, basically because when we did the signups, there was most people took the middle or the high level. We didn't have a ton in the baby dragon level. And so Michelle and I both added ourselves in there just so that there was a couple more people in there. So I don't have my baby smile one. That's a lot of words. I'm just going to stop talking. I got my kit. It is from our friend Kim, who is Crafty Teacher DIYs on Instagram. And so she made this project folder with this fantastic fabric, and she made herself a matching one. So we both have this, and I do love my dog. Oh,
She also made me one for no reason.
and ahead of
she, in her own words, has no chill. So anyway.
And so she chose to kit up Strawberry Fields Forever for me. So this is a Blackbird Designs, part of their Magical Mystery Beatles inspired chart series, which I'm slowly working my way through all of them.
Oh, it looks so familiar.
On my wish list, you will have seen if you watch the Epic Flosstube or prior Flosstubes, Megan's been working on this pattern. And so if you know Kim, you know that she is addicted, and I don't say that lightly, to Bee Stitch Me.
We dubbed her a Bee Stitch Me ambassador.
Yeah,
that's what she is.
And so she did a conversion, all to Bee Stitch Me silks, which beautiful. And then she chose this Dusty Cottage. She sent me a 40 count piece for this. Ooh,
that's nice too.
Really pretty. So
I won't even use like a quarter of that.
I haven't actually looked at.
I mean, I'm doing mine on 28 count, and mine's like not even that big. So I can only imagine on a 40 count. Teeny tiny.
Oh, on 32 count, it's only 6 by 9. So on 40 count, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not big. It seems like it would be huge, but it's not.
Regardless, Kim kit hers up with the same colors, so we will sell it together. I plan to start kitted up stitching on February 14th, so that will be when I start that. When I start whatever my other partner sends to me, and then I also have the Modern Folk Embroidery, Evertote, Roxy, Salentines. So I guess I'm starting 3 things on the 14th. Oh, am I supposed to spend time with my partner on the 14th? Because I think I'll be stitching.
Ew, what day of the week is that?
I don't even know.
If it's not a weekend, then I'm not doing anything. It's a Wednesday. We're not doing anything on the 14th.
Okay. I will have heart-shaped pizza, and because that's
that's what we should do. I haven't done that in so long.
Yeah. Heart-shaped pizza is for a good cause, so you have to do it.
Yeah. So I was in the baby dragon one, but my partner went a little overboard. So first of all, she gave me this beautiful project bag, which is the cutest thing in the world. It has
and that alone is the
it has all these little woodland animals on it. I mean, I sent my partner like some extra stuff too, but like I didn't go this crazy. Right. But whatever. She also gave me this beautiful card, which is so pretty. And she says it's the old mill at Berry College, which is I love. I collect like cards with like paintings on them, and I hang them up like they're paintings. So
they are paintings.
This is so beautiful. I love that. And she sent me a dragon egg needle minder, which is very theme appropriate, and a pair of scissors, because you always need more scissors. But she did so good on my patterns. So I am kind of a jerk, and I put things on my wish list that I then purchased for myself because I have no impulse control and am
like, I made my wish list. I didn't have a wish list. I made it, and then I just like I'm not looking at it because I don't want to do that. So because Kim was feeling very excited about what she was putting together. She was trying to get me to guess because I had seen the picture of the floss and fabric because she on Twitch or something. So she knew I had seen it. So she was trying to get me to guess what it was. And I'm like, I don't even remember what's on my wish list. So and I'm not going to go look because I will just be happy when it comes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. So I had put all of the Cottage Garden Year in the Woods on my list, and then I bought three of them because I'm, like I say, I have no impulse control. But the one that I didn't buy was the reindeer, which is the one that she got me, which is so perfect. I don't know if she maybe watched my Flosstube where we were talking about this. I have no idea if she watches our stuff. I tried to follow her on Instagram, but she said she doesn't really use Instagram, so I'm gonna have to like send her an email and tell
Mhm.
her that this is all very amazing and I loved it. And then she also got me the Quirky Kicker Raccoon, which is so perfect because my call for February for my Quirky Quaker Whipco is a forest animal. And I will stitch my raccoon.
Live in the forest.
I mean, they wish they could still be living in forests if we hadn't,
They
colonized
might
all the
live
forests and
in
put
like
cities
trash can.
everywhere.
I don't know. I don't know. I spent a lot of time around raccoons in my life, and in areas where they could choose to be in the woods and eat just fine.
Yeah. And then they go live in people's yards.
Yeah.
Um, and I got this beautiful lightly mottled gray fabric, which is from Gabriella's Needleworks. Misty
Okay.
Gray. I am unfamiliar with this hand dyer, but it's beautiful.
Very nice.
And
Yeah.
I think I'll have more than enough to do both
Oh
of them.
yeah. Oh yeah. They'll both fit
Because
on.
these are not that big. They're,
Mhm.
and it's like a 16 count, which is perfect because the other ones that I'm stitching are also on 16 count. So
Great. It will be the same size.
exactly.
Mhm.
And for the reindeer, she sent me the DMCs because it's mostly DMC. And then there's a couple fancy flosses. So this one calls for one skein of something that I don't use. And she sent me a colored cotton, which is great because I can't really get colored cotton here. No one really
You don't have
carries
to
it.
stock it,
Yeah.
so unless you order directly from them.
Yeah. So that's great because I would never be able to get this otherwise. And it
And
is
it's
a
a good
perfect
match, right?
it's
Like
a
it'll.
perfect match. So this is she also sent the DMC, which it's supposed to be replacing. And like
Mhm,
couldn't ask for anything more perfect.
mhm.
And then there's also chalk from Gentle Arts, which is also in my swans,
So you
which
have.
that project it called for two skeins, but it's like you would barely need the second one, so I know I'll have plenty. So yeah, because it's just like a
So
little
for the
like
snowflakes, is that what it is? Oh, oh, yeah,
it's
on
like the
there too.
white. Yeah, so I know I'll have lots, so I can use that too. And then for my raccoon, she sent me the so like they always get there's always like something that they say like whatever whatever and then it's like there's a DMC conversion but it's Deanna's always like use whatever you want, but she sent me the actual Gentle Arts that are in the
Nice.
model, so
And
yeah.
you'll use like one length of each of them for your Quirky Quaker, and then you'll have those for other things.
Exactly, and these are very nice
Mhm.
gray colors, so I'm really excited. These are so cute, and this is definitely going to be my new Quirky Quaker bag because I mean, it's adorable. It's like small-ish, so it's perfect for like a bunch of little projects rather than like a big thing on a key snap. And I think that's so cute. So, thank you very much, Jessica. That's her name, Jessica. If you're watching this, and I will email her as well to say thank you because she's not really an Instagram person, she said. So,
I will say, if you want to live vicariously through other people's shopping, organize a kit swap because you get pictures of all these things. And my oh, that looks like I want to stitch it list has grown, and
and people are
etc.
so creative. Like
Fun,
they're kitting it up like ideas.
yeah. If you didn't get in on the kitted up swap, Michelle Chinook Crafter and I are going to organize one that is autumn/Halloween themed. So we will be
Mm.
sort of after this wraps up, we'll figure out the timing exactly. We're going to take some slightly different approaches because we've learned lessons along the way. But if you follow me and Chinook Crafter on Instagram, we will post about it when signups are open. And so yeah, it will be timed to sort of send end of August so that people have it to start in October-ish. So yeah,
That's excellent.
That's the next thing.
I had a lot of fun buying stuff for mine, and it also gave me an excuse to do a 1, 2, 3 stitch order so I could buy other stuff. So.
I for my like full smog high cost level partner, I kit up 2 different patterns at that price point. I made them a project sleeve. I made them right like yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and hopefully they like it. I don't know, it's in Canada Post's hands to get it to them, so
yeah.
so
my other stitchy kindness that I got, which was the thing from Kim.
And it's a nice project folder.
It is.
I'm very excited to have that in my life now.
It was a real hit at the Smalls Exchange because they did it like Yankee swap style, and so but you could only steal something twice, and that was one of like 3 things that got stolen twice, and then was like not allowed to get stolen again.
We did that at work for our non-denominational seasonal party. And last year I got this beautiful crystal and it got stolen from me, and then it got stolen again before I had a chance to steal it back, like crystal hanging thing. This year, again, I opened the beautiful crystal, it got stolen from me, and then I got stolen from again. So I stole it back and it's mine. It's in my office. But the person that I stole it back from isn't allowed to come into my office because I don't trust her not to.
That seems fair.
Come into my office, but
yeah.
Should I go through some of my purchases and then you can tell us all the things you got while you were cruising along? Okay.
So you go and then I'll finish her off.
Random pile. I don't have I know that there's other things because we haven't done hauls since mid-December. There's just stuff. I'm not too worried about it. I gathered what I could. I have some floss of the month that I think have gone right into my giant Rolanda floss monster thing, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. One thing I'm going to share, this was our December 25th gift chart from Jacob. This small trifle, kindly take and keep it for the giver's sake.
That's really pretty.
I've already stitched this. It's really cute. So Jacob.
What the
so
H, Jacob?
So many charts, so little time. Also, if you are a patron of Deanna, Darlene and Whimsy Designs, at a couple different levels. I'm at the level where I get a gift every 3 months. But then she also has a yearly gift level. So she sent this beautiful card with this gingerbread man, and inside it there is a quirky Quaker pattern. Some people have already stitched it. It's holly berries. It's very cute. I'm not going to show it because it doesn't have a picture. She sent us this quirky Christmas cottage garden threads, so I will use that when I stitch mine as well. I have all the other Christmas ones. I might do them all with the same border. You use this, and then
that's a good idea.
Sort of tacky,
yeah, I haven't started any of my Christmas ones either. I could totally do that.
I'll see because I also have the proper branded needles for some of them and things like that, so we'll see. We also got 2 more Quirky Quaker stickers. So we got the cardinal and the snow person, which I love. These ones are vinyl. This is cardboard of some sort, so yeah, I'll just add them to my sticker pile and they'll get stuck somewhere eventually. This thing is this is pretty much full. When I started putting stickers on there, I was like, I have so much space. I think it's almost full. And then everybody also got a cute little sticker. So people got different ones. I got this cute little bear.
I don't remember what.
Pardon?
I don't remember what one I got, but yeah, I'm sure I got something.
Yeah. So thank you, Deanna. And if you're not on Deanna's Patreon, I highly recommend.
Get on it.
Trying to think the order of things. I want to show these in a way where there's no spoilers for people. The made by our friend Jazz, the knitting nurse, exclusively for Stitch for Pride 2024 floss set. Try and show all the colors. And I don't have my board, so just bear with me. So Jazz and Dee worked on all the colors for these. These are silks. They're beautiful. This is Jazz's first foray into floss dyeing, and like they knocked it out of the park. These are in no particular order. They're all mixed up. So I sent some of every color to my friend Megan.
Wow.
Because way more than enough here.
I was
And
gonna say that's how much you've left.
let me know if I didn't send you enough. I sort of figured how much I was going to use for mine and doubled it because you're stitching on a higher count or lower count, whatever, with 2 threads, and that's one.
I think it'll be fine.
If there isn't enough, I can send you a couple strands more of each color. They're so pretty.
They're so pretty.
Um,
They did such a good job.
Yeah.
I really hope that they dye floss again in the future. But I understand if they don't want to. But they are really nice.
Darn. It was much more time consuming.
Yeah.
And so we'll see.
Yeah.
I also got this ink circles pattern, assembly required, because my fabric from Jessie couldn't travel alone. And so I will put this in the to be stitched someday. It's just hilarious to me.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That would make a really cute pillow.
It would make a really cute pillow. I'm gonna show this because by the time this is online, the retreat will already have happened. So I signed up for the Acorns Gathering retreat. I may or may not log on. It starts in an hour. While I'm getting ready for my trip, I might just put my headphones in and listen on the Zoom while I finish getting my stuff packed and things like that. I did not know I was traveling today, back when you had to sign up for the retreat. But so Acorns Gathering, if you don't know, is put on by Acorns and Thread every January. And when, COVID first happened, and they went online, Acorns and Thread has kept both the Acorns Gathering and the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit as like a hybrid retreat. And so people go in person, but you can also sign up to do it via Zoom. And they do a really good job. They have a person who's dedicated to the Zoom folks, and they make sure that you're like actually integrated and experiencing things, which is not always the case. Some people just like think that you can just sit on the computer and it'll be just the same. So they've really perfected, I think, the hybrid retreat anyways. So this year's Acorns and Threads guest designer are Fox and Rabbit, so Karen and Bryn, which I assume if I log on to the Zoom, they will also be on Zoom, but maybe they've flown to America. I don't know. I think we'd know if they were in America, but because they post a lot when they travel. But this beautiful house, gathering of acorns with those acorn branches and acorns, this cutie patootie little squirrel. Yeah, it's perfect. Because it's Fox and Rabbit, it is a Fox and Rabbit linen. So I've chose the linen option. It's 36 count, I believe. Yeah, hog bristle linen by Fox and Rabbit. That's nice, and their stuff's always good to stitch on. We all got a Crafty Corey Stitches little notions bag. Look at that.
So cute.
And then the fabric inside is also acorns.
I love that fabric on the outside though. That is cute. Wow.
Right?
That's
so
nice.
Cute. We got our M&Ms. These will be traveling with me.
Is there something?
So they always have M&Ms in the shop. And
so it's just like a thing. Okay.
Get a pack of M&Ms because you won't get the M&Ms in the shop. Yeah. Of course. So, Acorns and Threads thing. I say that like I've been there. I've not been there. And then the project is mostly classic colorworks. So we got all the flosses and a little bit of DMC. There's a couple, and then we got just one strand of the whatever the DMC number is that goes into the woman's face on the pattern. So instead of sending us a full skein, they just sent us enough for the like 5 stitches it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
nice.
And right? Like it's gonna be pretty. When
Mhm.
will I start it? I don't know because normally I would have started it on the Zoom, but not today. So it's already kitted, so it can go in the ready to start pile when the time comes. When the fancy strikes me. That is a big house, big chunk of house to do. So
Mhm.
and then the last thing that I have piled up here, and I honestly can't remember the timing of this. So if some of this fabric and bags are duplicates, oh well, they're still
Yeah.
fun to look at. But I think that they are not. I think this is all stuff that has arrived since the last time we filmed. So, Kaylee, I'm in a fabric of the month club and a bag of the month club. And then she had some sort of sale. I don't even remember what, but when Kaylee has a sale, I then just buy more things. So I bought a piece of the what is it called? Watercolor Falls. I got a half yard of 20 count Ada, and look at this. And now I'm like, I need something that I can just stitch across that whole thing because how can I possibly, or at least half of it, right, where the purple goes and it goes the other way. Look at
Mhm.
that.
That's really cool.
What fabric was yours on? Is yours an Ada or is it like a Lugana?
It's an
Because the
Ada.
colors.
It's an Ada and it's an 18 count. And it's
Okay.
a totally different, right? Like there's it's
Mhm.
more blended
Yeah,
than how it's like streaks,
yeah.
which I like it. I like them both. I
Oh
would
yeah,
be happy either
beautiful
way.
fabric.
It's just interesting how they're kind of like they're so different but still the same. Yeah.
So
But that's beautiful.
figure something else out there. This one was my, I'm pretty sure, fabric of the month for December. It's an 18 count elemental fire.
Well, that's
Um,
really good. I ordered that one, I think.
this I think I'm going to put into um, my little pile of fabrics that I will do my Let's Make a Statement banners as they come out on. I think it's thematically similar to those. Unless I find something else I want to put on it first, which that could always happen. And then Kaylee sent this for feedback, and that you can now buy this in her shop. But um, I was one of the first recipients, as was Megan. But look, if you like Lord of the Rings, I highly recommend getting this fabric. So this is, what is this on? This is on a 20 count Ada. And she's got them on different counts and different sizes. So if you go onto her website and look for it, you can figure out what you need. I'm debating between a couple patterns to put in the middle, and so I will make a decision at some point and stitch it. But it is beautiful and perfect and fantastic. So thank you, Kaylee, for sharing that with me, with the world. Um, if you are a Lord of the Rings person, go get some fabric.
It's really good.
And then my last piece of Kaylee fabric is my January, because it's been that long, fabric of the month, which she calls Drip Drop. So this is an 18 count
Oh,
Ada. And so I think this will be fun for some
that is
patterns.
cute.
I have a tiny modernist Happy Easter that I think would look really cute on this.
Yeah.
Uh, so we will see what I end up doing with it, but I really like it. It's bright and fun. And if you want it, like it's more muted on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what you're doing, you could have the brighter side or the more muted side. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's fun. And then bags. I have a few bags. And I don't even know what's what here. I think this one was a bag of the month. Um, I might have shown this one already. I don't remember, but it
I
was in
think
the
you did. I think we've seen it.
so Back to the Future, very thematic for Megan, and it's got this nice soft velvet. Nice. I've got this one with
I
this
like that one a lot.
really fun fabric, and I really like the pinks with it. Um, got a little ghosty charm on this one.
That one's so cute.
That one's good. And then this one I know I bought as part of whatever her sale was because I wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
It's on stained glass Star Wars. Look at them all. It's beautiful. And then this like really thick like couch fabric or something. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really nice. And then for my new bag of the month for this year, I signed up. Kaylee has started making some knitting bags. And so I signed up where I will get 6 knitting bags and 6 cross stitch bags, which is good because I have, right, like that's 3 cross stitch bags right there with no projects in them yet. And they've just been sitting there. And sometimes I put a project in it before I even show it to you. So I might be sort of catching up on my project bag needs. So I'm getting some knitting bags too. And look at this.
That's cute.
You can choose to have grommets or not. So I chose with grommets so that I can have yarn in there and it can come out the grommets. It's got like pockets on
Oh,
the,
that's really handy.
so you can put whatever stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for just a small little 1 or 2 skein project.
Mm-hmm.
I also need to ask her if this is like a manufactured binding that I could also order off the internet because it's very nice, or if she used ribbon or something. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's excellent.
Yeah,
Her
that's
bags are
awesome.
always very well made. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
that is the extent of things I had in my pile about purchases. I have also an online thing that is not so much a purchase, but a fundraising chart, which is the Grief Knows No Bounds. I suspect that most people have already seen this by now, but it is a charity pattern by a group of folks who call themselves Stitches for Peace. So Marumi Crafts, Miriam is part of that. Crafty Yam, also Miriam. Aya Rosen, Michelle Bendy, and Yasmin Made with Love are the folks. Oh, yeah, right there. I didn't have to remember. I could have just scrolled down. But if you make a donation to either the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, Doctors Without Borders, or the Parent Circle, which brings together parents from both Palestine and Israel. So if you make a donation to one of those organizations and send the proof over, they will send you this chart. It is chunky, 177 by 177, but it is beautiful and meaningful, and they are doing good things, raising funds for those organizations as the genocide unfortunately continues in Palestine, and the International Court of Justice has, quite frankly, not taken a firm enough stand on what's happening there. And, you know, I don't think we're going to see any changes coming out of that ruling. So.
Yeah, I agree. We were talking about it at the retreat, and she said that they had made almost $2,000 already. So
Oh, that's great.
it was more than I was expecting. So that's really good. I still haven't made my donation because I was traveling and whatever. And I also knew that they were busy, so but I will do that right away. And yeah, I don't know when I'll start it. I might just stitch a little bit of it to like have like a just so I can like show it off. But
down to kit it up or anything yet, so I need to do that because I think
Mhm.
it's important not just to buy but also to stitch and to post about it and talk about it, because
Yeah,
just quietly giving your money doesn't raise awareness
yeah,
and doesn't help change perspectives of people who maybe buy into the amount of propaganda that's spewed out there.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
While you have your Instagram handy, do you want to show Deanna's chart too? Um, her watermelon one, which like there's no donation attached to it because she just wanted to do something, but I was going to make a donation on my own and then talk about it a little bit. So uh, actually, I'll write that down too.
So Deanna Darling and Whimsy Designs, if I can pull up the internet, has designed a Quirky Quaker specifically in support of Palestine. And so, as Megan said, she doesn't have the capacity right now to directly fundraise. But I mean, if you're stitching on things like this, you should be putting your money where your mouth is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so she has a watermelon Quirky Quaker. If you are not familiar with the watermelon as a symbol of resistance for Palestine, it has been used as an image because it has all the colors of the Palestinian flag. And so where people might
Well,
find them
the
in trouble, targeted.
The flying of the flag was illegal,
Yeah,
or something, or it is still illegal or whatever. So they were not allowed to basically be like, this is our flag, this is our country. So they started using the watermelon symbol to like sort of show support and unity as a country.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, so yeah, if you go to stitch that, even though Deanna is sharing the pattern for free, I would, encourage you to donate. There's other causes beyond the ones that like the Stitchers for Peace are using. A lot of countries are withdrawing their support of the UN charity that provides a lot of aid in Palestine because there has been an unsubstantiated report of wrongdoing circulated by Israel. And so countries such as Canada are no longer giving their money. I'm very disappointed in our government, but they can't say somebody else is doing the genocide because then they have to, maybe account for the one that they have participated in here. So
yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, that sucks. As much as like, you know, absolutely what's happening in Palestine is terrible, but like it's exactly that. Like, how can you condemn one country for doing the exact same thing that you did and are doing,
yeah,
and then act like you're superior somehow?
might
So
not be bombs, but they're not.
it doesn't, yeah, that's
Right.
not, yeah.
Still happening.
Yeah. I will link to those, and I wrote a note on my notes for the episode notes, and I'll link to those, and then I'll link to the Stitches for Peace as well if you guys are interested in helping out. Okay, time for my haul.
Yeah, yeah.
So speaking of donations, Michelle Bendy had an auction last November? It was a while ago. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving Day in America. And so I donated to the doctor. It's the doctor's something. Damn it.
So it's a charity foundation for folks who Michelle works with. So if you
Yeah.
don't know, she is a nurse manager, and she works on an orthopedics floor, and so they go and perform surgeries in countries where it's hard for people to access that. So the
Yeah.
surgeries are free for the people receiving them, and so they need money to pay for everything related to the surgeries.
Yeah. And they were in the Dominican Republic when we were on our cruise, so we waved to them as we went by on the ship. So yeah, so I made a donation to that organization, and then in exchange I got these charts. So I got this Berries and Blooms by Heart and Hand. It's very cute. I do. And then I also got all of the perennial potions from
From our friends,
Darling and
yeah.
Lindsay.
I like those ones a lot.
Yeah, me too. Foxglove. There she is. Magic, which we saw in Florida. Lots of magics. And Belladonna.
Love it.
Yeah, these are really cool. I'm excited to work on those. And instead of mailing them to me for millions of dollars, Michelle just threw them in her suitcase and then gave them to me at the retreat. So that's why I took like 2 months to get those, which was totally fine. And I told her, I was like, please do not mail them.
Seeing each other.
Either they will get lost or they will take forever to get to me anyway. So. And then I also bought a few things from Kaylee. So she had so for I forget the occasion, but there was a sale where it was like buy one bag get another bag, and then there was also one where it was like buy one fabric get another fabric. So I haven't gotten my buy one fabric get another fabric yet. It's in the mail right now. It's coming. But I did get my buy one bag get another bag, and I bought a bunch of fabric as well because something has to go in the bags.
And once you're paying the shipping.
Exactly. So this was the one that I picked, and this is Pina Colada.
That's
and
cute.
it's this pineapple coconut bag, which is so perfect because I may or may not have drinking a pina colada every single day of my cruise. And then I also, my free bag was this flamingo one, which is
Oh,
also so perfect because it goes with my tropical
yeah.
theme. She picked so good.
Mhm.
And then the fabrics that I got. So this one is, I think the tag fell off this one. I think this one is autumnal. And
I mean, those are autumnal color.
yeah, I believe that's what it's called. And I think this is a linen. I think this is a 36. I think it's 36. It might be a 32.
It's great.
I honestly don't know. It would be in my receipt if I was really curious. I'll have to write it down when I put it in my Stitchy Notion app. And then I also got Avalanche in a 28 count Lugana, and it's sparkly. I don't know if you can tell.
Oh yeah, I can see. It
This,
doesn't really look like sparkles, but the fabric, like it you can tell.
you can
That
tell
is
there's something going on. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a big piece.
that is. That's a lot of fun.
This will be good for some
Mhm.
wintry things. And then I also got a sample of the Lord of the Rings.
Yours is smaller than mine, I think.
Mine is smaller. It's a 36, I think. 36 count linen. And this stitchy size is about a 10 by 10 square. So, like, and I'm pretty sure if because the one that I'm thinking of doing is the Hobbit house from Cottage Gardens house series, which if they follow the same pattern is going to be like 120 by 120, so it should fit in there.
Maybe they're close to the same because I wrote that I have about 9 inches in my inner circle.
It's 14 by 14, but it is also
Measure the whole thing.
smaller count.
I feel like mine is wider.
Yeah, I think it is.
But you say yours is 10 inches in the middle. I've got more edge on mine than you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, you have more border around the outside. I think I have more.
Regardless, look how pretty they are.
Is this going to be our thumbnail?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, these are amazing, Kaylee. I have 0 notes for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think yeah, that's a really cool idea.
Mhm.
So that was my fabric purchases. And then I also got 2 new bags from Heidi's Homemade, which she was having a sale and it was free shipping. And with the sale price, it was only 30 Canadian dollars per bag. Yeah.
I need to check this person out. I have not been because I get a bag every month, so I haven't been really buying other bags.
Fair enough.
But free shipping to Canada is so rare, I feel like I have to.
From Arizona. I was
Yeah.
like, are you sure? Like, that's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna argue. Michelle Chinook was the one who turned me on to her because she had one of her bags in one of her videos, and I was like, oh, I like that. And then I
Yeah.
went and looked on her Etsy page, and I was like, yeah.
Is she on
I got
Instagrams?
yeah, she's on Instagram.
Oh,
Snakes, and then it has spiders and bats inside. Or not spiders. Yeah, there's a spider.
yeah,
All kinds of fun things.
great.
And
Oh,
then
she follows me.
oh,
Followed her.
she's a fan. Yeah, this golden butterfly and this pretty purple. I just had to have.
Perfect.
So many bags that I can now fill with all of my new starts that I have just been piling up because I knew I had all these bags, but I was like, I'm not going to put anything in them until I talk about them on the Flosstube, and then I can put stuff in them. So
So she's not having a sale right now, but they all say free shipping to Canada.
I think
Like,
it was
does
always
she
free
never
shipping, and then there was like a Christmas sale or something. Yeah,
this could be dangerous.
I know, and they're so nice. They're very nice bags. Okay, so
Use me while I don't listen for a minute.
that's fine. You've seen all this already anyway. Um, we went to the cross stitch cupboard before our cruise, and obviously I bought a million things. I'm gonna show just the important things. We did also get a little freebie bag from the nice ladies at the cross stitch cupboard, and I got this heartstring samplery pattern.
Oh, that's lovely.
And they're also trying to get me to start a new craft. Like I need a hole in the head. But they gave us these needlework
Nice.
patterns. And this is like a printed cross stitch pattern. And it's like the whole kit as well.
Mm,
I
cute.
might do them. I might give them away. We'll see.
Have to decide. You don't have to decide
I
today.
don't need to start a million new crafts, but who knows. And then we also got issues of
Nice.
various cross stitcher magazines. So I bought a few patterns and I also kitted up two of them, or two and a half. So one of the ones that I got was this Quaker Gone Tropic.
I had never seen before. Look at that.
Me neither. They had, I will say, the advantage of the cross stitch cupboard is that they have an extensive library of older patterns and stuff that is like lost to time that you thought you
That's
would never
nice to
see or
go to
find ever.
an actual store and dig through patterns. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they had a lot of really cool stuff like this that I was like, I've never seen this. So I did grab some fabric and floss for this. Um, First I found this really cool Stranded by the Sea floss, and then I kind of made a palette based on that out of all of these sampler gentle art threads.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And I got this Forbidden Fiber Co.
Mm,
32 count linen for this
perfect.
giant piece. I
Hmm.
don't even think, I mean, it's a pretty big pattern, but I don't think I'll use all of this for that. But we'll see. But yeah, I thought that would be really nice with those colors. And also, I don't ever get Forbidden Fiber. Nobody
No.
does that here. So you can imagine. You can imagine the vision.
Yeah, it's gonna look great.
And then I got, so this is one of the ones that I wanted for a while. It was the only one that they had. I looked through their whole Blackbird
Hmm.
section because I was hoping I could find the octopus garden, but anyway, they had this one, which is really good. I'm excited.
I have that. I have it partially kitted. So if you wanted to start it together, because I need another new start.
I mean, I'll never say no to a new start. It's as good as a whip. A whip's as good as a kit. I also got this token of friendship Quaker with
Hmm.
this really cool swan in the middle. And this, I think, is going to be my retreat stitch it for me project because I think this would be fun to have
Hmm.
work on, and they could just do like a little section of a Quaker or whatever, and it also doesn't really matter if there's any counting errors because it's a Quaker. Like it'll look good no matter what. Um, and I got some cool flosses to do that. Um, these were So there's a few different ones here. There's Romy's Creations, which I've never heard of. There's some really cool
Yeah, nice variegation.
colors there. And then also these little guys, Rumpleberry Rumors. These were only $2. Two
Oh wow.
American dollars
So
for
like 15 Canadian.
yeah. I mean better than like 7. Um
Trying to
so
figure out
those
how much I need to save for my tattoo from Sam. And I'm like,
American.
30% more. 30% more than what I think it's gonna cost. Mm.
Yeah, I was trying not to do math every single time, but then I was like, am I gonna run out of money on my credit card because I haven't been accounting for
Yeah.
and then I got this piece of fabric which I was considering doing this on, but it is a 36 count, which might be tricky for like retreat stitching. So I might see if I can find it's beautiful. Like I'm definitely gonna use it for something, but I might pick like a 18 or a 16 count Ada for that instead, just because it would be easier, especially for people who don't necessarily stitch on linen ever, and then they want to stitch on it too. Because like Michelle's one was, I think, was on like a 14 count, and that was seemed pretty easy for people. Then me and Kim both got this little set of these little guys, especially for this just
Oh, just
cruising
crazy.
one, which I thought was so perfect. And I'm probably gonna stitch all of these. And I found this little 9x9 square of this like sparkly blue thing, which I think it would like they would just fit on there because I think it's a yeah, the 28. It's a 28 count. So unless I, go over one and make them super tiny, but they're already pretty tiny. And then this bag was actually a grab bag that was $10 and it was full of 18 count.
Wow.
So I got these two I bought separately. So this is an 18 count. Jam Alice Sunset. I don't know what jam is. Jam something. Anyway. It's just a really nice little offcut. And this one, which is no name, doesn't say what it is. It's a 14 count. Beautiful. This might go on this. It is also a 14 count, which might be like big, but I'll have to measure it and see actually how much it would need because I want to use this for something too. We'll see. We'll see. Nothing has been decided yet. But I saw that piece of fabric and I was like, no, I need to have that.
Absolutely.
And then this was what was in this grab bag. So I got this little square of blue.
Nice.
This pretty big piece of like a peachy color. These little squares.
Oh, perfect for a quirky Quaker.
Perfect for a quirky Quaker. And they're 18, so they would be little too. And then just like a white and an off-white.
Nice. Always good to have.
And this little square of needlework.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I'll use it for, but it's be good for just like a little something. And that was everything I got from the cross stitch cupboard. And then obviously we got stuff at the retreat. So I have like this was all the like notions and random stuff that people gave me. Also, this bag is a lot of fun. And then I also won Floss Bingo, so I got to pick 10 Cosmo colors from the box of Cosmos. And I wanted to show these floss tags that we got from Paula. So she's Grandma Pooh on Michelle Twitter and stuff. And she and her husband dress up like Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus every year. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, that's her husband Moose. And he wore like a red felt fedora like every day of our cruise, so we always knew. We're like, oh, it's Moose. Because he just basically looks like Santa Claus all the time. Of course, they had to lean into that at Christmas time. And she got those for us. So the project that we got from Jean was this is the egret and the dolphin. And this was our first class. Which I love it so much. It's really, really cool. And she also did it. So her class was like specialty stitches. So we did like herringbone stitch and long arm stitch and all those kind of ones. Cause like you could do the border, like this border you could do as like a herringbone if you wanted to, or you could just stitch it like how it is.
Yeah.
And then the class that we did with Jan Hicks was all about variegated threads. And so she gave us these variegated threads, which I'm thinking I might do
Okay.
yeah,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of yep.
right? I don't know.
Just take that fabric and floss it. Not that there's anything wrong. Like
Wheels
dad's
are,
chart is pretty
no, this is
but you
really pretty. Like I'll definitely do this too, but I don't think it's gonna take all that floss.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not very big. So yeah, that I'm thinking about. And then I also bought from Jean, I bought this companion piece, which is the two turtles and a flamingo. And I'm thinking I might combine the
Like
two.
make a longer band. Yeah.
Yeah. And then skip some of the bands and then
Yeah.
just do, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she also gave us like a lot of pages of like different words that you could do. So
Okay.
there's like some options in there. And then all of the colors that are missing from that one are in this
Oh, okay.
kit as well, which is like a scissor fob kit. So it's like that, and then it has like
Yeah.
it's really cool fabric, and then it's like the pattern for this. But then you got there's the extra, and it's all Cosmo. Very beautiful Cosmo. And then we got our projects from Michelle, which were very good. So first of all, she got these cruise ships made for us. These floss drops, which is so fun. And she was so nervous about these just like shattering in her suitcase.
I
So
know.
they were like bubble wrapped, and yeah, it was quite an ordeal, but they all made it safely. Everyone got theirs and there was no breakage. And then it also came with this little chunk of silk, which is so pretty. And we got two patterns from her. So we got this one, which is this Thalassophile, a lover of the sea and the ocean. Very cute. And we got a bonus chart from Jessie at Mislaid Pages. Pattern number 5 from them, Sail Away. Which
So
I
cute.
love this curly cute.
The border is very similar to the one that they did for their swans, right?
Yeah. And to go along with it, Jessie dyed us this fabric, which is called Excursion.
Huh. I love it.
But it had two names, Destination or Excursion. I don't know why. Two names, but whatever. On the chart it says Destination. But yeah. And it was funny because everyone was like, oh my God, that's so nice. And I was like, this is just the tip of the literal iceberg when it comes to Jessie's fabrics. So if you think this is good, just you wait. Yeah, I think that's it. That was all
just
my
a couple things.
Many, many, many new projects for me to start. When? Who knows? What is time?
Plans. So I am doing WIPGO this year. You could not tell from what I shared. So I have a couple smalls that I'm going to hopefully whip out in the next couple days while I am in a hotel room in the evening. I have a Quirky Quaker. I can't even say it. The cryptid one, that's the bird that looks like a chicken. Owls.
Oh, we forgot about our stitching box.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why it made me think of
we both got the
switch
box from Starlight Stitchery box, which came with all sorts of things. I haven't even it's all in here still for me.
I'm just gonna throw my fabric.
Put into rotation. Megan's fabric is like dark and more solid, and mine has these like nebula splashes.
Yeah, yours is really cool. I'm not mad about mine, but yours is very
What
cool.
is yours? Mine's a linen.
Mine's a 28 count Lugana.
Yeah, so yeah, right. And so Megan got her box before me and she showed that, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. I can totally I want to do Michelle's chart from the book first on that. But then I got my fabric and I was like, oh, well, no, this needs something spacey and special. So we'll see.
These are the flosses.
Yeah.
Very, very neon, very cool.
We got a little needle minder from Stitch Sprout.
We got socks.
Yeah. Yeah. So. We
And
got
this cool bag. I like this bag a lot.
I've got my floss in there. We got these pom-poms. Oh, yours is black. Mine's
Oh, I didn't know yours was different. Yeah, it glows in the dark.
yep.
That's very cool. A little wax melt, which
They make themselves. They like one of them makes these too, I believe, of the Starlight Stitchery folks.
I already used my glow stick. I put it on as a bracelet.
Oh, my glow stick's upstairs. I forgot about that. We got a little notebook.
Oh, mine's blue.
We got a pattern book.
This I
They're
love.
all great.
I like that cover. That's so cool. Like
Sometimes hard to show.
I would hang this up.
I love this Biscornu. There's also this box, which I guess I skipped the page on.
This is Michelle's Mothman.
That's the one that I want to do first.
Yeah.
I also really like this Kraken.
I'm excited for that one. This one's really cool.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they're always really good. Witchy Stitcher.
Yeah, that one's really rad. I am obsessed with these.
Has been embracing the bright colors in some of her patterns because, yeah, they're fun. That one, I love those.
I am obsessed with this. I really want to do this. I would love to do this on my fabric, but it has the black, so I'll have to do it on something else. But like,
well, you could do the opposite. You could put white.
Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah.
These cute little potions.
The potions are good.
This, I really liked this one.
This is
like done with the tree. Oh yes, I love that one. Honestly, everything's good.
Yeah, I'm not mad about any of these.
This unicorn skull, so awesome. Oh yes, that as well.
This is so like heavy. This is so like 80s heavy metal.
Yeah. I think the only one we haven't shown yet is oh no, that's it. Wrong page. Sorry.
Yeah.
This non Edgar Allan, which fantastic. Starlight Stitchery boxes are always worth it. In my opinion.
I was very on the fence about this one, and then I was just sort of like, I want it. So I'm glad I got it. I'm glad. Yeah. I regret nothing.
Accept them all because when you add the Canada tax, it's a lot, but it is what it is.
Worth every penny. Okay, now plans.
So yeah, so I'm gonna do some whip go. I'm gonna do a Quirky Quaker, and I'm gonna do a small ink circle Patreon pattern, thread chicken, which I have nothing available to show you. So I'm hoping that I can bust both of those out whilst I'm away before the end of the month. If not, it can circle over a bit. And then I've got to figure out what I'm doing for my whip goes for next month, which I have not decided yet, but you know, we'll get there. I'm gonna finish my Stitch for Pride. But probably in February, but then I can just roll right into the next one.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep working on my round robin pieces, my Jacob pieces, and really my Yalda to Nurus. And by the time I say all that, that's it. That's
yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. 3 cells. So Yalda, Jacob, and Stitch for Pride. So I will probably interchange those, and I'll just like have one Q snap or whatever, and then just like whatever I feel like working on. And then I have to finish my ink circles. I have to finish my ATC card. And then my January one that I haven't finished yet, my Quirky Quaker. So one call was for a paper chart and one was for a big animal. So I'm doing Quirky Quaker Moose. And I'm gonna do it on fabric that I dyed myself. So stay tuned for that next month. We'll see how that turns out. And my last two January calls were, so one was for a Quaker, which I'm halfway done, and then one was for something with words. So I did about 7 hours on Yelda to Nowruz, and I that can be, I'll do 3 more hours on that, or I'll do 3 more hours on something else with words. Who knows?
Have a lot.
A lot of things with words, and I'll technically the no time for the but the present would also, because it has words in it too.
Love
Any
cards.
really
So
anything
right,
I
lots of them.
want. And then I could even argue that I've already done that because I did 3 hours on it. But anyway, for next month for February, my calls are Stitch a Sampler and ocean themed. So I'm gonna do
Mm.
Summer Quaker as my ocean theme one because I haven't worked on it in a really long time. And somebody was working on it at the retreat, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is that? It looks so nice." And then I was like, "You're literally working on that." Like, but she was so far along, and I was like, "What
It
is
looks
that?"
so different. Yeah. Yeah.
And hers is on like a darker, like almost like a beige, like tan, and it look with the colors, it looks so good, and it's all just like the DMC. It's all the called for DMC. But I was like, oh my God, it looks amazing. And then she was like, oh, it's just this pattern. Like I'm not doing anything different. And I was like, okay, so really, what I'm hearing is I just need to get mine out and work on it. And then for my sampler, I'm gonna do my Beverly Glen sampler from D because I have barely worked on it. And when I pulled it out during our whip parade, I was like, I want to work on this more because I want to finish it. So that's gonna be my sampler. And then my two Quirky Quakers for February are seasonal and forest themed. So I'm doing my raccoon for the forest, I've already said. And then for seasonal, I could do winter, but instead I'm going to do Valentine's. And I just bought the lovebirds from Quirky Quaker. So I'm going to do those with some Brita needles on just some random fabric because
It looks
they will look amazing. So those are my plans.
good. So if
February's
you want
going
to
to be
find
busy.
how we did, you can check in with us again in roughly a month near the end of February. And we will
Hopefully, I made some
see how
progress.
well we stuck to our plans, what inspired us to go off track because something will. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us. This is probably going to be a pretty long episode, so I hope you got lots of stitching done while you listen to our updates.
That is what we're here for.
Yeah.